Hello, Aries. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Aries. So we have, the wealth card, the 10 of discs. So awesome energy to start with, okay? We are in a place of success. Okay, you've been working hard. I know it, Aries. You always do. I mean, that's not a surprise at all. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to turn this bowl here. I'm excited to see what are the tea leaves going to show us with this lovely energy of abundance and wealth. Okay. I'll just lift this up. We're going to take a look, and I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for clicking on this reading. It means so very much to me. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. And if you're new to the channel or new to tea leaf readings, welcome. I kind of follow my own format here. I also read the leaves in my own way. There are many prescribed ways and meanings to the symbols, but we diverge from that a little bit here because, you know what, I've been doing readings for a long time now. And like anything else, when you've done it for a while, when it, just kind of flows through you, you start to hone your skill by crafting it into your own. Right? And that's the process of mastery. So I know sometimes I get questions about like, why didn't you say this? Or it was located in this part of the bowl. So therefore, which is all, that's valid if, that's how you read and you want to perceive it. But this is my reading. So, but anyways, welcome. I love you. Let's get started. So first, we're going to check out right in here. It looks like we have the number 22 right here, which stuck out to me. This repeating 2, which I haven't seen a lot of lately. I've been very much experiencing a real deep, lots of 3s, lots of magician energy, also 7s and 9s. So we're just kind of in that, I don't, what does it feel like? I don't know. It's like the unseen, right, is really the faceless operators, the the entities that keep the whole thing running, the elementals, right? The, interdimensional beings, or, the divine, the angels, the, these kinds of energies. It feels very potent lately. And that might be because, the world feels chaotic, right? And we're looking for some guidance. We're looking for, something other than what we see kind of playing out in the world right now among us humans. And so, it does. I think in these kind of times of great strife or turmoil, a lot of people start to have more interconnectedness or experiences with the supernatural, high strangeness, visitations, and this kind of thing. So that makes sense to me. Now, up here we have the stag. Okay, you can see the head would be here, here the antlers, the body, right? And above, it looks like we have a heart. Okay, so to me, this reads of agape immediately. What is agape? This is a kind of love that is shared between you and the divine, you and God. This is the belovedness that is not earthly, although tied to you, so I guess somewhat earthly, right? But if you could imagine that imagery of Jacob's ladder, or like a ladder from the ground up into the sky, you kind of think of going up into the clouds type of kind of image. And this is the ladder of ascension. This is the ladder that connects as above, so below. These are the levels of mirroring, right? All the way down. All things alike. Everything is everything. But I also feel here you are having a very maybe spiritual experience in your life. I don't know if it's like one thing that happens and you have a profound dream or some kind of revelation, or you witness something you can't explain. It feels very meaningful. You see God, whatever it is. This also could be part of a larger occurrence, a shift where you are perceiving the divine, a shift where you are perceiving the supernatural, where before maybe you believed in these things, you're interested in them, but you've never had like this really, it's like when you start noticing synchronicities, right? And you're able to perceive them. Not only perceive them, but to begin to decode some of it, right? Assign meaning to the synchronicities and understand what that meaning means to you. And I feel like you're in this place where it's kind of like, I just imagine like a 1,000 points of light coming off of your head, right? Like all of a sudden there's this great illumination. And I feel like for you, it has opened up this part of self, like you flung the doors open of your heart. And I feel like you are very connected to whatever that divine thing is for you, whatever you believe in, whatever speaks to you, whatever you are beginning to perceive, right? Maybe this is all new. Maybe this is something old that you put away, and now it is coming back into the light for you. But I feel like this is a really important time for your spiritual life, okay? Now, we have this fishbone right here. We also have the number, it looks like 62 right here, and then the number 1 beneath it. The fishbone indicates to me that there has been maybe some financial stuff going on. Maybe one of your resources kind of dried up. Maybe like a job you had came to an end. Maybe it was like seasonal, or you had a client that you were working with and that project is over, or, whatever it is. But I do feel like there is some, I feel like you're aware, like you're not oblivious to the fact that like, okay, I got to get to work here. I got to get going on to the next thing, right? I got to, maybe it is, picking up a second job for a little bit, or getting out there and doing, if you have a business of any kind at this point, and you're like out there looking for clients, or getting your business out further and further to be seen, and all this kind of thing, it's a lot of work. Thankfully we're very lucky that we have the internets and that kind of thing to help, but there's a lot that goes into promoting yourself. And I feel like even if this isn't like your own business, career, trying to get that position, that raise, whatever it is. But I'm going to get a little drink of water. I'm getting dry here. But I also see we have the magician. That magician energy really does show up here. And, excuse me, right here, you can see kind of in a kneeling position with this wand. Now, over here, we also have, it looks like the goddess looking at the magician. And immediately, because we have the dogs behind the goddess, I feel that this is Diana. This is the lunar goddess. Now, we also just went into the full moon. Now, it's not at peak at this moment, but we've entered, that 99%. That kind of is like the, beginning of the fullness of the moon. And so it makes sense for her to arrive. Now, who is Diana or Artemis? This is the goddess of the hunt, the wilderness. Okay. And so you have this ferocious instinct to hunt, to find what you need, right? That sustenance for your life, the resources, the work. And I see you not resting on your laurels, but in this cycle of creating another stream of income for yourself. I feel you really hit your jackpot there. Because I feel like this is the one that's really going to take off for you. You finally get into that position. You excel. You excel, right? You finally get that job at that business, at that company that you've been trying to get into, right? Applying. And here it is. And it's better than you imagined. You started that business. You got that, maybe you started a channel. Maybe you're making content, whatever it is. But I feel like this is it. This is going to be the thing that really gets that traction. And that's where we get into the 10 of discs. I feel like things are really starting to fall into place. Now, that's not just out of happenstance. You have set this whole thing up. You've worked so hard, diligently, and had such a keen eye for planning, anticipation. And that's why this is working, because you've put your all into it. And where things go wrong, which they will, they always do. I'm not seeing anything, but I'm telling you, the challenges come up. But you're navigating them with such grace. Not just grace, but ability to fix things by, doing what you must. If you have to learn the new program to fix the whatever, I'm thinking of, editing and all the behind the scenes of running like a channel and doing readings, both general like this, but also private readings and other kinds of divination that I do for people and spell work and that kind of thing. A lot of stuff you have to learn. Every day I'm learning how to do different things, and so I feel like you are also feeling so confident. I do. I feel like it's such a confidence. This is a blessed time. Absolutely for you. Okay. So we have turmoil, a bit of turmoil. I'm just going to be honest here. We have a person here. We have a person here. This person seems to be walking away, right? And they have, it looks like all these objects. Now behind them, we have a person kind of running and screaming. I feel like this is, there's maybe some kind of, I think somebody in your life, I don't think this is your relationship, but I do think somebody in your life, they have a very volatile relationship. There's always the back and forth arguing. I think you're starting to realize that you can't get involved Because every time you do, it gets turned around on you. You're the villain, right? Even it's like if this is like your sister, she has this person she's with, they're always breaking up. They're always, having these big blowouts and blow-ups or whatever. And they're, just kind of in that zone of toxicity that like you wouldn't want to be dwelling in, right? But you've tried to intervene and you've tried to be there, but they always just kind of end up back together stronger than ever and turning on you, right? So you've learned, I think. You just don't get involved. This is like kind of their thing, right? It's something about their relationship. We all know people like this. Now, I'm not talking about somebody who is being mistreated to the point of like, abuse. I don't feel like that's what we're talking about here. But this is more of like they go through this makeup and breakup constantly. Now, up here, we have a person you can see with the legs, and there's the body, and arm out. Now we have a dog, and both are by the fire. Like a campfire, okay? So I do feel like whoever these people are, and I feel like at least one of them is close to you, you are kind of turning away from that situation because you don't want to be involved, right? I also see the house down here. We have the heart. We have the person here kind of just walking by themselves. So I do feel like you are turning towards your private life more, not involved in the extended family stuff or the friends group stuff, just really focused on this building up of your life, right? Getting this money, getting yourself in a better position, focused on, I don't know, keeping the house together, yard work. Maybe you're like me, you like to garden. I feel so much better during the summer when I can be out in the garden. Absolutely. So I do. I feel like you're finding your things that are for you and being less involved in chaos. And I think this is really what it comes down to. You're in a shedding period of things that aren't serving your ultimate purpose here. Right? No, I don't just mean on earth, but whatever your goal is right now in this cycle, that's what you're focused on. Everything else is like noise at this point. And of course, you want to be a helpful person. Of course, you want to be there for people, and you are. But you're also going to be there for yourself. Because I think a lot of us are really starting to realize, and maybe this is my age, but I think it's also just the way the world has shifted recently in the last 10 years or so. Our lives are short. There's always going to be problems in the world. No matter what. If we're watching the news or not, things are going on. But it's also our great gift and miracle to be manifest consciousness with flesh. To be in this world. Waking up each day. Having that great blessing to begin again every single day. Every single day. And so I feel like it's like this realization that this is it. This is it, man. It goes through your fingers like sand. It's so fast. It's so quick. So you know what? I better do something with it. Because all the distractions, all the stuff they're trying to sell us and make us feel or not feel or whatever, it's so superficial. So much of it is. And it's a distraction. But here we are, you and I, heart to heart. And we know our eyes are open, aren't they? And so we do the work. And so we do the work and we press on. And yes, sometimes we'll stop and look at a squirrel. But baby, you're not going to take us away from what we know. What we know is the priority. And that is, whatever. Your faith, your self-development, your legacy, the empire building, whatever it is. Everything else is just noise, so let's get it. Let's get it. In Aries, we will. We are dwelling in that wealth. All right, let's see. We also have, it looks like, it feels like we are anticipating I feel that you have a small break coming up here. I feel up here the sense of wandering about, just waking up and being able to walk around and, kind of do as you please. So this must be a nice little break for you. I wonder if you are going to the water. It feels like the water. I just feel the energy of when you're waking up in the morning and the sun's coming up and it's shining off the water and you can smell it in the air, that sun, that water coming together. And I can't describe, if you've ever stayed at a lake house or, maybe you went up into the mountains, like up near Shasta in California. I'm from Northern California, so I'm just, I have starry eyes about these places. The smell of the river in the morning. It's not very sunny because there's so many trees, and often these rivers are deep in the canyons, but, that smell. I feel you just having a moment to, I'm just, I'm going to go on a walk this morning. Have a little breakfast and then wander for a bit. That feels amazing. I feel like there's just time here that you haven't had. And the ability to just look at things. We have the owl here. So that's what I'm seeing is this energy of being able to people watch, to look at the flowers, the bushes, admire the trees. That's something that happens as you get older. If you're not older like me yet, past 40 and above, you don't realize how much you love to look at people's yards, right? Their plants, their trees, the landscape, all of it. I took my daughter to her tutor yesterday. I was just checking out her yard the whole time. I just loved it. It was gorgeous. So I feel like you have this time, you have the will to kind of stop and smell the roses a little bit. Ooh, that one really hit. 96. First lucky number, 96. 40. 98. All right. And let's see. We're going to finish with our Wild Bohemian affirmation cards. And I'll just flip through, stop where it feels right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It says 38. I am soulful. Where you walk, fragrant wildflowers will bloom. Trust your power to transform. Trust your power to transform. All right. Aries, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for spending this time with me tonight. If you want to help the channel, if you want to help a girl out, you can hit that like button, the little thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future readings. And you can check out all the signs. I mean, all of your positions, all of your, favorite, what was I going to say? All your favorite signs and I don't know. I watch my Venus a lot lately. My Venus is in Leo, so I watch Leo readings a lot, and I've always been drawn to my ascendant. That I'm Capricorn ascendant, and my moon is in Aquarius, and I'm a solar Virgo. So I'm watching Virgo readings because we're a little proud of being Virgos. If you meet a Virgo, they're going to tell you they're a Virgo. Like right off the bat. So if you want to, go watch your other signs and, or leave a comment. I love hearing from you. I really do. I read all the comments. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get back to people, but I do read all of them. I have to because some of them are bots and, some of them are a little risque or weird or, weird in not a good way, right? So you gotta read through them. But other than that, I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.